Hello everyone, this is Brad Johnson here, and our next Conscious Matrix Communication video here is going to be about humanity's next 1,000 years. Now this has been something that's been roughly talked about through perhaps other YouTube channels or maybe other websites that give an approximation of what we can look forward to relating to our future. So I thought, why not look into Conscious Matrix Communication on the feeling of energies? And that's really all that this momentum of the next 1,000 years represents, is the feeling of energies. So why don't we just look at right now in the present. So right now, within the next 50 years. Right? So we're going to look at where we are right now in this moment, and in regards to the next 50 years, what are we going to be experiencing? Well, there will be a change in regards to the monetary situations of our planet. That if we're looking at monetary gain in the first part, that the monetary is really going to stabilize itself at first. So bring itself into like a circle of stability, and then it's eventually going to fade itself out. Simply because in order for us to sustain ourselves, we really need to have a form of commerce here that brings ourselves into a state where we can begin to look into a state of equality. We're utilizing currency into allowing ourselves to become better, to improve ourselves, not to feel that there has to be a class war, that there has to be a high class, a middle class, a lower class, a poverty class, etc. It's no longer about that. That the monetary situation is going to fundamentally improve here within the next 1 to 5 years. That it is going to be going to more of a legal tender, backed standard, so to speak, and that as stability starts to come through the planet relating to the monetary system, then we'll be moving past it and slowly transitioning into these pocketed areas relating to community, relating to unified co-op neighborhoods, different states of alternate economy, working more towards unity and community, equality, all together. No more of this step over the little guy, I'm going to squash you, I'm making all this money, I'm more powerful than you, I'm going to sit on this high throne while you just feed off the scraps that I decide to throw you. There isn't going to be any more of that. The next 1 to 5 years, this is going to be phased out. So that's something of a benefit that we're going to be looking for in regards to those that are moving up the plateau from one dimension to another. You're going to see this a lot more clearly because you're functioning more in the vibration that not only has a positive spin on it, but it's looking into an integration of balance, moving from a stability for money where everybody is able to afford their food, to afford their shelter, to afford their clothing, and then moving more to the commonalities of food, of shelter, of clothing, not to be privileges, but to be rights. And that's what we're starting to move into relating to the monetary system, the stability of it. So it is going to be stabilizing. Again, you're just talking about, if you're really to look at humanity as a whole, you're looking at the monetary system in regards to the human body as a parasite that's just looking to be removed. And that the monetary system right now, as it represents in regards to class, really is this horrible looking parasite. And that you need to make sure that the parasite and all of its remnants of debris is completely X'd out of your body in order for what we're currently using that we're familiar with to bring it into a positive light, to bring itself more into a sustainability. So again, we're just looking to get all of these cancers, these parasites, out of our system that represents a corrupt nature of feeling that here's the high and mighty, here's the middle, here's the lower, and here's the impoverished, to getting rid of those classes altogether and removing all the remnants that want to maintain that type of empire so that we can move more into a positive alignment, that we can move more into community, and then eventually phase out the monetary system altogether. That's the goal. And that's the feeling of energies of what's going to be happening here in the next 1 to 5 years. So again, it can come quicker, or there's times where it may be delayed. It all depends in regards to our progress. This is again just a feeling of energies relating to our monetary situation. So let's move beyond that. Let's go past monetary. What else are we going to be expecting between now and the next 50 years? Well, again, this relates to the point of community integration, and this relates to grassroots. This relates to grassroots understandings, where we're creating systems that are more harmonious to nature. So within the next 1 to 5 years, we're going to see a lot more integration of community. We're going to see people coming together. It's no longer going to take trauma in order for everybody on the planet to lend a helping hand. It's only when we have these deeply traumatic experiences that we literally feel the entire world coming together. It needs to go past that. It's not about trauma, it's about naturalness. And so this is what we're going to be working on a lot more within the next 5 years, is moving more into a state where people can come together, not through negative situations, not the feeling, oh my goodness, this tragedy happened, let's throw all our money, all of our supplies, all our resources at it, blah, 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 blah. It's about working in regards to what we have through those resources, because we've just proven it to ourselves that as soon as trauma hits, everybody has resources. Everybody has supplies. Everybody has money, food, everything to accommodate the relieving of such trauma. So if we can all get together in regards to traumatic situations, isn't it appropriate to say that we have the naturalness to all come together to improve ourselves? And that's what it is. It's about an empowerment factor. And so the next 1 to 5 years is really going to be working more so in regards to how naturally we're able to come through, and rather than attempting to come all together when there's a traumatic situation, the naturalness takes over. And all the resources that so many of us pull together relating to these conflicting traumatic situations will be able to become transformed into naturalness. This really is about the abolishing of a tainted government. Okay? We're not saying that we're abolishing the government altogether, but it's looking into the idea of saying that the government itself, as it stands right now, is no longer going to be a tainted entity. It's going to work alongside the people. If anything, the people have the dominant factor relating to the governance. The government is just an aspect, a creation of the people. That here you would have God, here you have the people, here you would have the government. This is what we're looking to create probably within the next 5 to 10 years on a much more stronger scale. So again, that's what we're looking forward to here, relating to community integration, grassroots, etc. Alright, so let's go a little bit more further ahead in time, within the next 25 to 50 years. Alright, now what can we expect within that particular timeline, between 25 to 50 years? Okay, 25 to 50. Alright, what are we going to experience? We're going to see nations coming together. We're no longer going to see a piece of land here where you have all these illusionary borders. These are going to be working together to be taken down. Now, not all at once, but we're actually going to start seeing each other as citizens of Earth. We're no longer seeing ourselves as Americans or Canadians or English or Scottish or Australian or Asian or European, whatever it may be. We're not seeing ourselves as that in the times ahead. We're going to start seeing ourselves coming together in harmony. Again, that circle of relationship, where again the earth is the perfect epitome of that, that sphere of abundance, where we're all coming together in regards to harmony. We're working together in each other's favors. There's no need to be aggressive anymore, because we're all coming together We all know that we're parts of a whole. We all know that we occupy this space. What else are we going to be looking at in the next 25 to 50 years? ET contact, absolutely. But in order for that to happen, we need to become integrative with the Earth. Within the next 25 to 50 years, we're talking about mass level contact. Okay? Massive ET contact. We're not just talking about pockets. Pockets are what's happening right now, and in the next 10, 15, 20 years, these pockets will become a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, but there'll still be pockets. And it's in between the 25 to 50 years where we'll be allowing ourselves to reach a mature level to where we're actually giving the cue. And of course, within the next 5 years, it's going to be very, very common knowledge for many of us on the planet that we are not alone in the universe. How is this going to happen? So let me just kind of interject with that. How are we going to know that we're not alone in the universe? Well, again, there's literally going to be a celestial event. Again, we're going back to the 1 to 5 years here. There's going to be a celestial event that's going to be taking place. Here's Earth, and there's going to be something. Now, it's still kind of up in the air in regards to what that phenomenon may be. It could be, in that sense, a very large sighting that's encountered by thousands, hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions of people, perhaps all across one continent, and is able to see some sort of massive level celestial event that really cannot be explained in any other means. Now, this has been attempted before, and it has been covered up quite a lot. The media, if you have a camera right here, and here's the celestial event, it's going to be making sure it's pointing this way. So it's away from the celestial event. Now, this has been happening before. So again, there's something that's going to be taking place on a celestial level. It can also relate to that. Some people do say that it may be a press conference. I really don't feel that's going to happen. Not until and afterwards, I guess you could say. In regards to this particular event that's going to be taking place, then you could have someone up here announcing something that is outstanding. But right now, there needs to be something that's capturing the people's attention. The feeling is that it will be a synchronous event happening in many different areas of the planet, just a very large sighting, so to speak. And that in all areas of the globe, at specific points, we're all going to be witnessing these kind of occurrences. They're not really doing anything. They're mostly just bringing themselves into awareness. A lot of this will be orchestrated by the Ya-Ya. But again, within the next 1 to 5 years, a lot of these sightings, in the past we've seen some really amazing stuff in Phoenix, Arizona with the Phoenix Lights. We've seen something very recently throughout Santiago, Chile, relating to the Santiago Lights, so to speak. So again, this is really just starting to pick itself up into awareness of what we're going to be seeing that will be coordinated, that many people on the planet will start to notice this. It's not just going to be a few thousand people anymore, it's going to escalate a lot further. This is going to eventually be picked up by a lot of different media sources, that these things will not be denied. There will be so much public pressure to demand on what's going on that the spiral effect will only begin to become expansive that can eventually lead to this. That can eventually lead perhaps to a press conference, but you really have to take its subtlety. We're talking about a subtle nature here. We're not talking about something that's so marvelously expansive and people need to know right away, because the last thing anybody wants is to have some form of widespread panic. Because, believe it or not, right now, there's a lot of us that can handle the news, and there's a lot of us that can't, and you can't have that. You can't have that polarity from both sides. You need to ease it a little bit more to where the invitation and the awareness of the extraterrestrial presence, where the positive is taking over the negative, so that you're moving itself again into nurturing steps. And so the feeling is that a lot of these celestial events, these sightings across the planet, will become coordinated, and within the 1 to 5 year span, we'll be seeing something phenomenal taking place that will then lead us down the road to 25 to 50 years, where we're going to start seeing much more larger contact taking place. Okay? So that's looking at it in regards to a celestial view of celestially what's going to be happening. All right. Now let's move a bit forward. What's going to be happening within the next 100 to 300 years. All right. Humanity is going to be completely different in regards to what we can understand ourselves to be today. One grand thing that's going to be different is that everybody will know that there's no such thing as death anymore. That's going to be the grand significance in regards to this. We're actually going to be working more in harmony with the earth relating to natural technologies. So imagine that these mountain ranges, for example, on the earth, are literally being harnessed in regards to the crystalline capacity that's literally being triggered within the center of the earth. The earth's core is literally triggering these particular crystalline matrices to establish, again, part of this magnetic grid, or more so this electromagnetic grid, where we'll actually be able to have the technology given to us through reverse engineered Syrian technology to actually capture a lot of this electromagnetic energy. It's a type of fusion. It's a fusion utilizing common conductive elements that are harnessed to the crystals of the planet that are therefore created through the power source of this electromagnetic field that will actually enable us to return much to the form of what Atlantis was literally going through. Pyramids can power this, tapping into a lot of crystals can do this. All of this is really going to be together within the next 100 to 300 years, and that's literally how we're going to power our planet. Solar power in that sense really will just be something primitive. It's not to say that it won't exist, it's just that it's not really the main power source in regards to how everything on the planet will function. So again, this is reverse engineered Syrian technology. This is what a lot of the Syrians gave to the Atlanteans. So the Atlanteans could power their cities, power their civilization through pyramids, through crystals, etc. So again, that's what we're looking forward to in the next 100 to 300 years relating to technological aspects, how we're powering our homes, how we're powering our earth, how we're working together with the earth. None of this is detrimental to the earth at all. So again, what we're also going to be experiencing is, of course, celestial travel. Right? So in regards to different solar systems, we'll be able to explore a lot more of our galaxy. Earth herself will be an intergalactic exchange center of information. Now again, this has been talked about as well too in other particular channels, is that we're actually going to be having guests come over in regards to where there is an open galactic community all coming together on Earth. And that within this 100 to 300 year span, again, we're just seeing a completely different Earth here. There is nothing really artificial on the planet anymore. Everything that's created is more created to the form of organic structures, organic foundations. This is what awaits us within the next 100 to 300 years. How will people get around? Well, you know, teleportation really isn't that much of a strange concept anymore. Teleportation is indeed one way of getting around. This is technological, of course. There'll be transports as well too. Anti-gravitational craft that will be able to kind of get you to and fro wherever you want to go. There will be, again, celestial craft that will take you not only from around Earth, but into the local planets within our area, as well as other star systems. This is what's coming through relating to the next 100 to 300 years. People will be together in community. We're all going to literally be aware within the next 2 to 3 generations, primarily, of our connection to all things. So the planet herself is literally going to be speaking to us, where we'll naturally be able to hear it. We'll actually be able to communicate with each other without having to use this thing. We'll be able to communicate with the animals. We'll be able to communicate with the plants. This is happening now. So imagine where this is happening 100 to 300 years down the future. It's an exciting time. And Everybody will be about community. It's no longer about what about me, what about what I want, etc., etc. You're not functioning that. You're functioning more symbiotically, relating to the planet. You still do have your individuality, your personality, so to speak, but you know that through your education that you're going through, you're going to be part of an exciting time on the planet. You're going to be part of working to better humanity. This is a little Earth with a smiley face, but that's basically what we're going through. What we're going to be experiencing within that time. Alright? So what about within the next 300 to 600 years? Right? This is where we're going to become a lot more galactic bound. So Earth herself is really going to be seen more as a preserve. So, just for example there, she is really going to be having more of a preserve. We're really going to be seeing a lot more plateaus, cities in space, so to speak, that are going to be around her in order to preserve more of her natural beauty. The more natural she is preserved, the more she is willing to literally be at her highest potential. Is when there's no large structures coming in, bombarding her surface. When you're literally just seeing everything intact with nature, you're actually improving the crystalline grid. Believe it or not, this is what's coming through. The grid becomes improved as you leave it intact. Where the Earth herself is able to lay down the foundations. She's actually going to sculpt herself when there is more of us contained above her surface. Believe it or not, it can be just as hospitable orbiting these cities around her outer atmosphere than it is, in that sense, coming upon her surface and trying to create all these foundations and all that stuff like that. It's like trying to sculpt a brilliant clay figure. It kind of looks good, but then you kind of just leave it alone. You don't try and mess with it. You don't try to have these things sticking out. You really see the natural beauty in regards to how the Earth herself communicates. There's a lot of species out there that don't even really live on their planet anymore. They're literally allowing the Earth to naturally repair herself. So this is basically what it's doing, is you're giving her more of an opportunity to sculpt herself, to sculpt her land, to sculpt her surface, without there being all these lumps through structures, through heavy dense population, through the consumption of a lot of her food, etc. She's just giving herself more of the time to regenerate and replenish herself so that she can be more of service to those upon her surface. So there still will be some people living on her surface, but a large majority of them will be living within these celestial plateaus, these outer atmosphere orbital cities that are literally created out of crystalline. That's basically where we're going here in the next 300 to 600 years. We're going to actually have our own council upon the Earth. It is a feeling that it will be a council of 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Literally a council of 12 that's going to be existing, that really is representative of different areas, of different, you should say, modalities, of different arrangements of what we're doing. And that the council itself really has no quote-unquote authority. They're more so the caretakers. They're the council of 12. They would represent more of certain factors relating to the planet in regards to theme that are being maintained, that are being watched over. And that these council members mainly would consist of the elders. That it's not about really the young people, because the young people, again, are still just working on themselves. They're gathering experience. And these beings themselves are not to be in a state of corruption or feeling that, again, that they have some sort of order or some sort of authority. They're just overseers. It's basically as if you were to have a map laid out, and you have people that are just kind of overseeing the map, and if there's discrepancies, you're talking about it, and that's what it is. And everything is branched down in regards to a sacred hierarchy. So everything just kind of mixes and matches itself up in divine order here through the means of a planetary council, which then the planetary council talks more to the galactic council, our star system council, which exists within the rings of Saturn, which is where our own particular star system council exists. within the rings of Saturn. So again, they'll be talking to Saturn. Venus would be the secondary, relating to Saturn, of course. So we're all functioning together in conjunction, relating to a planetary council, working together with Saturn, working together with Venus, which is then where Saturn talks to Sirius, where a lot of what's happening right now has been under, our star system itself for quite some time has been under Sirian care. Yes, there have been other particular races. Some people say, what about the Andromedans? The Andromedans came here, and they have their council. They're overseers. That's it. They don't really have jurisdiction. They're more so to the point where they're looking over certain things. They're helping out. They're kind of giving a fresh perspective on things. They're not really to the point of authority. The Syrians are more so the guardians. They're more of the guardians relating to this star system and its planetary matrix. So that's the whole idea. So that's 300 to 600 years down the future, down the road. So what we're going to look at next, finally, is the next 600 to 1,000 years down the road. So within the next 600 years, Earth again will have more of these orbital cities. We're going to be expanding ourselves into different territories. Again, every planet within our star system is going to be occupied with human life, commingling together with extraterrestrials as well too, other ET civilizations. And so we're literally going to see this going beyond in regards to where our own star system is our home. That all the planets themselves will become habitable, and that we're all going to be able to bring that back through a lot of great technology existing within the planetary surface in some forms. If there's things that are still attempting to be repaired there, we'll go more to moon bodies. So again, there's a lot of transformation that's going to take place. When we really hit this mark, 1,000 years in the future, humanity will pretty much be completely off the planet. That they're literally going to span themselves into other regions of stars, where so many of the human race really won't even bother to come to Earth anymore. That it's actually going to be open to a grand deal of other particular civilizations that want to come on Earth and perform some experiments of their own upon planet Earth. Literally opening ourselves up and saying, this was once our home, we now understand the concept that everything in the universe is borrowed. We're no longer owning this planet. And so this planet is open for other civilizations to literally create reservations, to create communities for themselves, to go through their own living experiences. And we're simply functioning in the background here as guides, just watching it happen. As we're seeing more glorious forms of celestial understandings in different star systems, literally being able to look at different galaxies as well too, like the Andromeda galaxy, etc. And we're exploring. We're just in the nature to explore. We're no longer one planet based anymore. We're now completely at harmony with our entire star system. We're at harmony with many of our neighboring stars. We're actually being able to explore more galaxies. It's going to be an exciting time to be alive. And that many of these other civilizations will come to Earth. We're curious, and we're really going to be the mentors. We're going to be the guides. We're going to help them out in regards to understanding how Earth functions, what we had to go through in the past, what would be advisable not to do, but again, it's all up to their experiences. So we're really being at that level to where many of our future selves are coming back to us now. That's where we're moving into right now, and it's really going to be a galactic, a universal harmony that we're experiencing as we continue to explore more of the planes of fourth density, moving more into a galactic civilization. That's our future within the next 600 to 1,000 years. So there's a lot to look forward to. Politics in that sense really won't exist. It's all in regards to the state of moderation, that we're facilitating, that we're moderating, that there isn't going to be any power structure. With these councils are not power structures. They're not authorities. They're simply facilitators. They're caretakers. They're assisting in regards to the preservation of what is natural, in regards to natural order, in regards to natural fairness, natural equality. That's what all of these particular councils represent. And that's what we're going to look forward to in humanity's next 1,000 years. So I hope this video has been very helpful for you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Again, feel free to contact me if you have any questions relating to this video or any other questions relating to other videos, etc. You can email me at info@areyourselfempowered.com. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourself. Happy holidays. Namaste. Thank you very much for watching this video. Remember to check us out on areyourselfempowered.com. Private sessions relating to conscious matrix communication through Skype, and group sessions as well too, Akashic perspective sessions, universal energy healing sessions, online digital courses, and much more. Check us out, areyourselfempowered.com. Looking forward to hearing from you. Namaste.